Okay, so to make you familiar with my course, okay, uh, I'm usually record all my lectures and I will upload the video later, so you can review all the lectures, okay, right from the beginning until the end. So you don't need to be worried if you are maybe feeling confused in the middle of the class, or maybe you are maybe have trouble with the English language. uh, I'm trying to have this recording session available for you so you can review, and maybe if you are still confused, you can we can have discussion about what we have discussing in class. Okay? All right. Okay, I will maybe wait a few minutes. So today I will introduce you to our course, what we are going to do in this whole semester, and actually. Uh, one semester usually we have 18 weeks, but now we only have 16, so we have uh, decreasing 2 weeks, okay? Reduced by 2 weeks because of the situations today, because of the COVID and so on. So we are only having 16 weeks. Okay? So if we are still having additional lectures, I will provide the lectures through video. So you just need to watch the video if we need to have additional. Okay? But for now, I will give you live stream and record session. So you can go to my class. And if you want to review, you can watch the video later. Okay? So that's how our class will be. I think I can start to present my presentation. Okay. Oh, wait. Some of you are still coming. And I think because most of the online session will require the Google Meet like we have now, I think it's better if you apply a Google account uh, through uh, through the university. So you have a new Google Mail, and it just needs some. Uh, you just need to fill some form in the Computer Center website. I will show you later. I think some of you are already using the Google account already, and it is actually good for you because you get additional storage. The cloud, you get the Google Cloud for, I'm not sure how many you will get, but I think it's a lot. So you can save all your maybe if you have any project homework, you can save on those files. Okay. Okay, this is our course. We are now in the CE 162A005, or I will call this class is the calculus A. Okay, for me, this is me. I've been teaching calculus for almost 3 years in this university in NTST in Calcutta. Uh, that is my email. To email. You can reach me within those two, but I prefer the second one because the first one sometimes your email went to the spam. So I usually I won't realize the email. So I prefer you reach me through the second email, the G apps, and you can also apply for the G apps, the Google account that I told you before. Okay. Okay. I'm also alumni of the NTUST. I'm from the Material Science and Engineering department before. Oh, wait. Uh, is anyone asking? Oh yeah, you can apply the office account. What you need to do is you already applied. Actually, you have automatically applied for the Microsoft Office account. You just need to change your uh, usually you have your b something 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 at mail. This is your email. I will write in the chat box. This is usually your email, right? At mail npsc. You need to change the mail to ms. Changed here. I think this. We can try this using your. I think you can go to Office 365, right? And then use that with your student ID, and then the password is the same as your mail password, okay? Email password. Okay, I think you can try to check, and I think it's really good also if you want to use the Office 365. Okay, and back to the presentation. Okay, yeah. So I'm from material science, and then actually I've graduated since 2018, and then the next one is get to know with all of you guys. So that's why in the first post on the Moodle, I'm asking you to upload the video of you. Uh, Try to introduce yourself, uh, your name, if you have any interest, maybe what major you will choose. Okay. This is for me to know all of you. And actually, when you speak in the video, using English, especially for local students Taiwanese, it's good for you to practice. And I think in the future it will help you to have self confidence, okay, to increase your self confidence. Okay. So please upload your video. I think I've only seen not half, not even half of the class. Like the total class is around 46 or 45. I think the folder now have around maybe almost 20. So I need you to upload your video. Okay, explain yourself. No need to make like a really long video. I think 30 or 40 seconds it should be fine. If you want to talk more, it's okay. You want to speak more, also fine. Like maybe 1 minute, it's okay. So please upload the video. I hope this week all can be done. Okay. And then the next thing is, during our online session, uh, or even maybe when we have the offline in the class, um, please have your smartphone ready. I know all of you have in this smartphone because we will going to have uh, some activity using this smartphone. So we are going to scan QR codes. Okay, so get your smartphone ready. So the first one is for the attendance. Okay, so please check, okay, your attendance. Okay, so you need to scan. You need to log in with your account using your student ID, your password. Try whether it's working or not. Okay, try to check the QR code. Actually, for the first few weeks, because some students will be adding or dropping the course, so I will not count the total attendance for a few weeks, 1 or 2 weeks. I will not count, but I will need to check whether you can use the QR code or not. Okay, so please check the QR code. Okay, I'll give you a few minutes to check. And if you need, maybe later at the end of the class, maybe you are having trouble with this QR code, you can scan later. I will show you the attendance one more time after the class, okay, at the end of the class. Okay, give you a few more seconds. I think, and I hope everyone already scanned. So the next one is the important thing that you need to keep in mind. Okay, every time you are dive in all of the courses, you need to check the Moodle system periodically. And sometimes, like maybe 2 days ago, sometimes the Moodle have been overcrowded, too many people using, and the system, it seems, crashed the server, but I'm not sure. So yeah, that might happen for the Moodle, okay, especially at the first few weeks. So sometimes you add the course and the course is not updated with you. You need to wait a few hours or maybe 1 day, but you need to check every 2 or 3 days whenever your professor give you some assignments or maybe some announcements, some informations, and you need to check. And sometimes professors didn't give announcement in the class; they give in the Moodle sometimes. Okay, sometimes. Okay, that's the important thing for the Moodle. The second one, in case of something happen with Moodle, I need you to have, for now, try to apply the Google account. So go to Computer Center, cc.ntsc.edu.tw, Computer Center, or you can type in to your Google. So you just Googling um, GApps NTUST, and it will directly go to some article and some link for foreign students, international students. If you cannot really see because the article is in Chinese, you can translate through your browser because I think it's quite direct approach. You just need to fill in some form. I think you can just use uh, like for example, the Chrome translation and try to apply the account. What you need to do is you just need to fill in the student ID. I think just the student ID, yeah, and I think and the password. And you will receive your account maybe in a few hours or maybe 1 day. And then if you guys all have this Google account, I will open the Google Classroom. Okay, and this Google Classroom, sometimes I will announce some information, some assignment also. So we have both Moodle and Google Classroom. So some assignment need to be done in the Google Classroom. Okay. Okay, this is for Google account. And then, yeah, this is if we have an offline class, prepare a mask, okay, and then we need to have social distancing in the class. Okay, so even you can learn from the Star Wars. Okay, another thing is the textbook. This is the 9th edition, James Stewart. You can check the cover. This is the cover of the textbook. If you want to buy, I think you can buy through some store, whether they have this version or not. I will later give you the bookstore email if you want, and the website also if you want. And I also added some reference for you. The Wolfram Alpha. I hope you can try that one. If you want to also check the MIT course, they have some open course, especially for calculus, for free. But it's actually all video, but it's still good. It's still good. You can also check some courses on Coursera if you want. And then GeoGebra, that is the website for graphing any function. Okay? So you can develop functions, you can write any functions, and you can see how it will be developed in visuals, how the graph will be in two dimension or 3 dimensions. They do have. And the last one is actually just short story about calculus, not really heavy subject. It's just some narratives and how some problems or some formula came, and you can also derive the formula from the real world. Okay, so that's the textbook. Additional reference. Okay, uh, maybe you were thinking, can we use the old version like the 8 or 7 edition? Yes, you can. The content is actually the same. The difference is just how the chapters arrange. Okay, so you need to be careful. You need to be careful. You need to, for example, I think the difference is in the some chapter, maybe chapter 6 and 5. I think they rearrange the content. Okay, but actually from 7, 8, and 9 they have all the same content, but different arrangement. Okay, that's the difference. And I prefer the 9 edition because I think it's much more logical and easy to follow for the arrangement. Okay, that's for the textbook. Uh, our schedule, I think you already know our schedule. We all have the early morning class. I hope it is not a problem for you. And I think good early morning is sometimes good for you. We have an early day, and um, that means we can prepare in more, uh, so we can prepare more. Yeah. So yeah, we have class A, class B. This is class A for 005. So Monday and Friday will be lectures, and Tuesday T8, and that is your TA session. I want to introduce you to our TA. I think he will show up around 9. Okay. Yeah, later I will introduce you to the TA. Okay, now today I'm actually prepare some topics for you for calculus, but not heavy subject. Maybe some slide review and um, some basic in calculus. Okay, so first is what is calculus? Okay. Maybe you have learned calculus, like the method, how you rearrange formula, the function, and so on and so forth. But what is calculus? So calculus is actually one of the subject in mathematics. Okay. Okay. If you feel my English is confusing, maybe you feel some words in my speech not really clear, I will review, and you can review later in the video. Okay. I hope that is okay for you. And I will also usually in lectures, usually I'm using notes. Later I will show you how. But now I will just using these presentations for today's class. Okay. So calculus is actually a subject of mathematics that related to all things that can change, that have changed, or they have rate of change. Okay. So for example, if you are looking at like motorcycle, it getting faster, faster, and faster. You have accelerations, right? And you can also approach that with calculus. Okay, I think you're already familiar with that in physics, right? And when you are approaching some area or some volume of any object, you can also approach with calculus, especially the integral part. And you can look for the area under the curve, right? Under the line object. Okay. So that is calculus. A calculus is actually came from the Greek word calcule, which means marble. So basically, at the beginning, it was about counting calculations for how many marbles, okay? And then it developed as an important subject, especially with the Newton and Leibniz. Okay, so Newton, the top picture, and Leibniz, the bottom one, they are the one who found calculus. Okay, I think Newton you are already know, he's quite famous, and Leibniz is actually pretty. He is also considered as the father of calculus. Okay, so they both father of calculus. Okay, the next slide. Also, uh, some definitions from his name is Bertrand Russell. If you want to look for who that is, he's actually a mathematician from United States and also a philosopher. Okay, so he's quite famous with some of his book. He published some of his book, and you can read those books. I think they have the Chinese version if you want to look for. So he said that calculus required continuity, and continuity was supposed to require the infinitely little. It's if you confused about this, uh, just remember the continuity and infinitely little. That the one that I bold, the two words that I bold, continuity and infinitely little. That's the key for calculus. So any curve, if we want to make the curve smooth, clean, we need to have the curve to be continuous. And every continuity, it was developed, or it was a combination of something small. So you imagine you are making a line from dot. So small dot, you make smaller, 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 and one by one, it makes a linear line, right? So in in other perspective, the infinitely little is your, if you remember, or if you know that when you integrate something, you have dx at the end, right? Integral something dx, dx, dx. Or if you remember the derivative, if you learn in high school, you have dy over dx, right? Or d over dx. Right? Those dx is actually what is infinitely little. So it's quite little that you cannot comprehend how much is it. We just know that it's very, very small, right? Okay. Okay, and then what calculus about is actually just two main concepts. Two main concepts, actually. The first is derivative. We are talking about slope, tangent, right? Okay. And the second one, it's about the integrations or integral. Okay. It's all about area under the curve. And later we can also use to find volume with integrations. Okay. And from derivative and integral, actually we can develop more and more advanced mathematics, especially related to technology, like computer science and how you make the programming and so on and so forth. Okay, and that's actually two main subjects: so derivative and integral. Okay, and then how do we proceed in our course today? It depends. Okay? It depends on you. We can be slow, we can be fast paced. So the course can be fast, can be slow, we can move faster, we can move slower. But I hope at the end of the semester we can finish on time. Okay, I will show you the schedule later. Okay, the schedule of our courses, what chapters we will going to discuss. And I think that this next slide is our grading. Okay, so grading, I will make attendance 10%, quiz 25, TA score. So this is score from your teaching assistant. It can be 10%. The midterm is 20%. The final exam is 35. Okay. For the final exam, I'm still thinking on which method we can do. Okay. Usually, as you may know, maybe you are familiar with the exam in high school. Usually you are taking the written test, right? We will still have the test Like usual tests, you are going to classroom, and then there will be like a supervisor, a watcher, usually senior students, and they will deliver the questions and deliver the answer sheet, right? And then you write the answer on the paper. It's like a traditional exam, right? We will still have that kind of exam, but I'm actually prepared another exam, like probably another way to do the final, probably an oral exam. Not really an oral, because I know some of you are not really uh, can speak English very well. So it's actually some just a discussion. You look for questions from me, and then you try to solve it. You just need to write also in the paper, but it will be um, it can be one on one or in a group, okay? And then I will ask each group, okay? But I'm still thinking about that, so we can still have more discussion about that, okay? And the quiz, we will have quiz, some using some tools from some platform for quiz, and you will see. I will show you later on, and then I will have also the written test for the quiz, okay? And in case we will have the whole semester as an online course, in case, then I will prepare all the grading system to be an online grading. I have prepared for that as well. So I think you don't need to be worried about that. Okay. I will later announce how we can proceed the quiz and the exam. Okay. Okay. I'll stop here the presentation for now. I'll go back to here. Okay. So presenting. Okay. All right. Okay. I've seen your TA. I think you can introduce yourself to the students. Wolfgang, please.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Prof. Iman. And hello, everyone. I'm Wolfgang, and I'll be your TA for this class. And uh, yeah, let us see each other on Tuesday. I think that's all.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wolfgang. Okay. Okay, so that is your TA. I think he will also announce something on the Moodle, so you can also check Moodle for any announcement from your TA. All right. So the next thing is I will show you how I'm usually teach. Okay. So usually I'm using the tablet to write some notes for you. Okay. So here it is. Share screen. Okay. So this is how you're usually taking the lecture. Okay. And if you have any questions in the middle of lecture, you can do that. Type in the text box, or you can just speak if you want to use microphone. Speak and then asking, like, a professor, excuse me, I'm confused about this, and you can talk, or you can type in the chat box. Professor, can you back to previous one? Okay, I will go back. Okay. And if I'm teaching too fast or too slow, please also mention. But I think you don't need to be worried. You can look on the recording session, okay? And you can pick whichever you think you need to review, okay? Okay, now here it is, okay? Imagine this is you. You are confused about how we can manage all the things you want to play, right? You want to play basketball or something. You want to play video games. You want to play with your laptops and so on. You want to watching movies on Netflix and so on. But you want to have 100 score, right? Okay. Uh, First thing, uh, because I already told you that in my lecture we have the recording sessions, right? So this is important if you want to review, okay? And reviews something that maybe you are lacking. Maybe you need to review some concept, or you want to have an exercise. For exercise, I'm trying to maybe provide some homework, and I'm suggesting for the homework, try to work on yourself to prepare for probably exam, okay, so you can have more confidence, okay. If you want to work homework in a group, that's okay too, but yeah, please remind that you need to be able to understand the concept of the homework, okay, the basic of the homework, okay. So talking about calculus, okay, talking about calculus, why most people say that calculus is difficult? Why? Okay. So here's why. I'm telling you first now, so you can have better preparations. Okay. So calculus, like I said before, is actually just two main concepts. Okay. So first is derivative, and second is integral. Integral or integration. So let me write integration. So just these two. Okay. But from these two, you can have many applications. You can have many details. Like you can have approximations. You can have more and more details. Okay. But what I can say to you is why difficult? Because in order to understand the calculus, aside from the concept of derivative and integrations, you need to be able to. So you need okay, understand first is the algebra. You need to be familiar with algebra. What is algebra actually? Uh, like for example, usually algebra is something like this. You have x squared plus 2x plus 4 equals 0. What is x? That's algebra. Usually that's algebra. So algebra is anything that related to formulations and how to simplify those formula. We can simply call that algebra. It's actually more than that, the definition, but usually we are using algebra for that one because we are using more and more algebra to solve any problem related to derivative or integrations. You need to be familiar with this. Needed to be familiar. So you need to know your algebra very well. I know some of you, especially for local Taiwanese who are already taking their high school, I believe you have basic algebra. You have good basic algebra. Okay? And for others, if you want to relearn or review the algebra, I think more of the content will be delivered on basic math. Okay? So if you are taking the test and you fail, you need to take the basic math. That is actually important because you need uh, the algebra thing. Okay? The algebra. Okay. Another one, what you need is usually it's related to actually there is more, but I'm picking the one that are usually trouble for students. It's a trouble for students. Students don't like it. You don't like it. Usually. So usually the algebra and trigonometry. Okay. So this is also you need to be more familiar with. Okay. So if you guys having trouble for the basic sine, cosine, tangent, you need to review a little bit of trigonometry, uh, like double angle formula, like sine a plus b, a minus b, and so on. You have more and more in trigonometry, right? And you need to be familiar. Okay. Third one is about function. So first, you need to understand the function. So the first chapter in calculus actually it's talk about function because within this function you will be applying all the derivative and integration. Okay? So if you don't understand what function is and how to use that, then you need to review a little bit. Okay? So first, if you talk about functions, let's say we have this kind of machine. Okay, so today, okay, we will have just a small uh, review, not really heavy subject, but I hope you can keep up with the course. And if you think this is too easy, okay, that's fine. We will uh, keep going, and we'll see in the future what will be. Okay, so imagine this is like a machine, okay, like a machine. This is just to remind you what is the function is. So I'm putting something here. This is I call the input. Let's say I'm drawing this small ball here. This is my input. And then from those ball, I will receive the output. Okay? Let's say it will be a triangle. But okay, I'm still having the ball inside this triangle. Okay? So imagine that. So what does this machine tells you? Okay. Usually you are written this as your x, right? Something that you put inside. It can be anything, right? It can be anything. It can be anything. Yes, the function is just a random function. It can be any functions. It can be any machine. So it can be anything. So I put x. Okay. And then the output, what we are going to say as output is usually f and then having x inside, right? Okay. So this is just a review that the x, we call the x as independent variables, right? And fx, this f of x here, is dependent. This is to see that x and f of x is related. Okay, so usually you are given a small, uh, let's say, small curve, xy curve. Usually you have x, y. Okay, so I prefer this written as x and y, not f of x, just y, okay, because this is actually a general interpretation. So let's say we draw any random function, maybe like that kind of functions, okay, and we can write this curve is y equal f of x, which means in every x, say it's a, then we will have f of a, and maybe here of b. Okay, got it? Okay, this is just a like a quick review, small review, and from your maybe junior high, high school, or maybe elementary. Okay, this is just a review. Okay, so let's say the curve is just as this. Okay, so it's stopped here. Or maybe let me write here and make it smaller. Maybe make it a and b as at the end point of the curve. Right? Let's just make that happen. Okay, I'm not sure what this curve is. This is just my random function. But from here, okay, from here, I can say that we can see that this AB, okay, is at the end of the curve, okay, which means we can say that this is our domain, right? Similarly, we can see that this is from FA to FB here. This becomes our range, right? Okay, domain and range becomes important because you know that everything outside of the domain it cannot enter, right? Okay, so like I say at the beginning it can be anything x, but I will add within the domain. Okay, and the concept of domain is really uh, basic because you will be learning the applications throughout the lectures, and then after the course you take another course, engineering math and maybe some courses that related to functions and how it applies. You will It will be always going back to domain and range. It's really important. Okay. Okay. Well, let me move to the next paper. Okay. Move to the next paper. Sometimes you also see that usually in your book, you remember when you are still in maybe elementary or junior high, you have the arrow diagram, right? You have arrow diagram, and this is describe how the functions work in arrow diagram. Okay, and you can say that this is domain and range. Okay, I think I can move to the next. So maybe I will write the official functions definitions. So function, a rule that assign, maybe set or assign uh, to each element x in a set of the domain. Okay, exactly one element fx in a set of, if you have the textbook using e, because it's using e here. So okay. Okay. But I'm not suggesting you to memorize words by words the definition because that's not important in calculus. The important thing is you understand the concept and you can apply. That's more important than memorize. Okay. Okay. Something to remember and something to keep in mind. Okay, memorization. What I mean by memorization is you memorize word by word by word, and I don't like memorization. calculus or math is not about memorization. It's about logic and how to apply the concept. Okay. So what you can do is you first understand the concept. Memory will come back later. What do I mean by that? Sometimes you forget. I also forget. Like some derivatives I forget. But I can go back to the basic. I can derive by myself personally. And you can do the same thing. So if you forget, you can go back and you can derive it. And you can find your own formula by yourself. And when you are doing that, sometimes you will feel, oh, I understand. That's how you understand the math. Okay? Not from, I have the fx, blah, 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 some formula here, and you memorize, oh, this is maybe like ax squared plus bx plus c, how to find factors, blah, 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 right? If you just memorize blindly, memorize all this formula, it will be not useful. Even when you are doing an exam and you just memorize the formula, maybe you get some score, but for your own understanding in the university, it's best to have the concept first, and then all the memory will be back later. That's just some small suggestion, advice for you. Okay, get back to the functions. Okay, the functions, we can represent functions by words. So maybe you have like p stu t p0. Usually this is for general, maybe some population for bacteria or cells, right? And you can say that, oh, p is populations at t at some t, blah blah blah. But you can use words to explain the functions, right? That's the first one. The function also can be described by table of values. For example, you can draw a table. Okay, you can set an x, fx, and you can set the number and what kind of number it will be on the functions, right? The third one is by visual or graph, like we've done before. So we can simply draw the graph and then maybe make something random like that function. And I think graph is, I think, because I prefer graph personally because I can see when it's increasing, decreasing, how it looks like, right? And I think you also can check the functions easily from the graph. Okay. The fourth one is by algebra. So of course, when you see this kind of functions, x squared plus 2x plus something, you will know that this is a quadratic function, and you know how the quadratic functions look. Or if you just have a simple linear equations like maybe 2x plus 1, you know this is just a line, just a simple line, right? Because you know, and you have learned before, right? Or if you have, like, for example, e to the x, you will know that the graph will have, or it is exponentially increasing. So this is a word for you if you're not familiar with exponent. If you hear words, okay, hear words like exponential. So when maybe some news in United States, and then you hear the news in English, you say that, oh, the finance is exponentially increasing. So exponentially means it's significant. The increasing is significant. It's faster. So if I draw the graph, usually you have the quadratic like this, right? The exponent, it's much more faster. So it's going up, the curve going up really, really fast. And we will learn this later in our derivative. So if you see the change of the slope is increasing very fast. So if you hear someone talking about it's exponentially increasing, it's really, really fast. Okay, like maybe what's exponentially increasing really fast is maybe your smartphone. Okay? So inside the smartphone, you know the processor, it's the transistors getting very small, right? Now it's 50 nanometers, like in the new iPhone. Right? Before, like several years or maybe 10, 20 years ago, the transistor maybe is quite large transistor, right? And then it's exponentially decreasing. Okay? Uh, if you want to look more, I think you can look for the Moore's law. But I don't think the Moore's law is really maybe 5 or 6 years ago. This Moore's law about the transistor is really okay. But now I think the technology is quite unpredictable. Unpredictable, yeah, because the development of the technology is really, really fast. Okay, okay, back to this function. So the functions we can have four representations. Okay, okay, I will check which other. Okay, okay. So back to the domain and range. Okay, back to domain and range. But I will focus more on domain because that is the basic one for function. So for example, I have the function g. 1 over x squared minus x. Okay, now for the domain, what we need to look for is logically, if you want to make the g in a graph, you need to put some numbers, right? Some numbers of x. What the domain here means, all the possible x that can be set up with function. So all the possible numbers that is logically can be set. Okay. So what does it mean? So if you look here, if we make it in this factor, okay, in this factor x, then if you look for if x is equal 0 and x equal 1, then the result here, the functions will be, you don't know what is this, right? It's 1 over 0. We call this 1 over 0 sometimes undefined, or later in limit, but that will be later. We can call this as infinite. Okay, but for now, let's just say it's undefined. Okay, just undefined. So we need to avoid. Okay, need to be avoid. So avoid this, right? Because we want to make something that can be looked for in graph. Okay, so we can make this domain as, or we can write maybe here. So the domain, we can write the domain as x, and then x is not equal 0, not equal 1. This is okay, or want to write this is also fine. It's actually the same. Or you can write in an interval, union that's also correct. Okay, so both are correct. So this is the domain. I think several domain that you need to be careful is whenever you find one a rational like a fractions like this, something here, this having x here, right? Or you have the square root, and you have something inside, right? And then you have the log, and you have something inside here, and or you can have a combination from these three, a combination. Okay, this is what you need to be careful for. Okay, let me move to another another point. Later I will go back to the domain and check the some exercise with you, but I will move on to another slide first. Okay, remember that the functions need to be exactly once, right? Meaning x and f of x is assigned to each element once. Okay? Or maybe I will add assign once, right? So to check, okay, to check whether it's correct or no, I have another. Let me make a copy here. I make a copy here. I make some improvement for the graph. So the graph is turning back. For the first one, the first graph, I take some a here, any number a in any x. Okay, this is x, y, and then I'm drawing the line here. So this is line x equal a. So this is the f of x, right? So this line only crossing one time, right? Let me put the notes here. Okay, so this is called the vertical line. Vertical line test. Okay. So the first one, the first case, okay. The line, the vertical line intersect the curve once, right? And the second one here, we put here, and we draw here x equal a, and then this is the function here. We have twice, right? So the vertical line intersect. Let me make general the curve more than one. More more than one. More than once. Okay. So the functions will be represented by the first one. Okay, so this is the first one, and the second one is failed. The second one is totally failed because it's having two intersections. Okay. Okay. Why it's important to have this vertical line test? Because this is it's related to other subject actually. For example, like you know the inverse, right? The inverse can be the inverse if they follow this vertical line. So if they succeed, if they success, then they can be inverse. Okay? They can be switch the domain and range. Okay. If you look at here, if you rotate, okay, x become y, y become x, there will be no problem, right? But here it will be a problem. Okay, I hope you get my point. Okay. Okay, another thing. Okay, this is for the vertical line, and okay, I think we can move to other slide. Okay, I think it's not really heavy, right? It's just a small review. I need just to know how much your understanding of the basic one is, because sometimes students, they can solve like really advanced problem, but they forget the basic. So I want to make you have strong basic from the beginning. Okay, the other thing is it's called piecewise defined functions. Okay, what's the piecewise? Uh, the function can be more than one formula in one graph. It can be one formula. So we can write the piecewise as let me, maybe I will write the example so you have uh, have a good understanding from the example. So for example, you have functions. The first one is 1 minus x. The second one is x squared. So you have a linear and a quadratic. Okay. This is if x. Okay. Let's try to draw this function. All right. From the 1 minus x, it will be a linear. Let me write here 1. And then this is from here. And I will have my line will be around here. Okay. Yeah. And then the second one, the x squared, is around maybe because it's having x greater than -1, having an open dot like that, not a closed one, and then having a square here, a quadratic function. Okay, maybe like that. It's not too smooth, but I hope you get the idea. So in one graph, you can have more than one formula. Okay, it's a piecewise defined function. Okay. Um, Another thing is this absolute value. This is actually a piecewise defined function because this absolute, it can be x, it can be, or let me write in more official way. This is, can be x and this is negative x. If x, it can be also true if you write it like this. It's the same. It's the same. You can choose which one, and then you can graph both of them like that. and this will be okay. This is x squared, this is 1 minus x. Okay. Okay, what else? Yeah, I think this you need to be careful on. Okay, this is the closed dot or interval if you want. Close interval. This is open interval. Hmm. What else? Okay, another. It will be, I think, until the next calculus 2, calculus 1, calculus 2, they will still talking about even and odd functions. So even and odd, for example, you imagine the x squared, x with 4, x6, and so on, and also imagine x cubed, x 5, x7. If you draw, you know that it will be around like this. You increase the number, and you will get more and more, a little bit larger than before. But it's still the similar, symmetrical graph, right? And you have the another one here, and you will get yeah, pretty much like this, similar, x cubed with a 5, with 7, and so on. You will get this. Okay, so pretty much we'll get the even and odd. But the definition of even and odd is if you put negative x, if it's going back to be positive, like for example the x squared, because every time you put something negative, maybe negative 1, it's positive, right? So it's going back to the original function. That's why you have the symmetry. Okay. For the odd, when you plug in the negative, it will be in the negative part of the functions. Okay, that's why you have the negative value. Okay. Okay, even and odd, and then maybe one more key point. Um, oh wait, throw the function. Let me throw a little bit random. Okay, maybe like that. I will name this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. You know that from the graph itself, you can see that, right? Increase, right? And then decrease, and then increase, right? So this is about increasing and decreasing functions. Okay. So increasing, uh, f increasing on some interval, let's say some interval, any interval you find, you have this inequality where the x1 is less than x2. Okay. And decreasing, the same on interval Okay, I think this is quite understandable when you see the graph also, right? Okay, it's increasing, decreasing. Okay. Okay, there's some other. I think I will move on later. Uh, I will go back to what I will schedule for this semester. Okay, so this is just really really basic about function. Uh, mm, yeah, I will stop the presenting. I will show you the schedule first and see whether we can make it into the end of the semester. Okay, class started here. Actually, I'm expecting to have like the tangent velocity, but I think I will move that to the Monday class, and because I think in the very beginning, the limit problem in the chapter, in the early chapters, is not actually not too many. I can make some parts shorter and make others longer. It's still doable. So what we have done before is some overview of functions, the really really basic concept, and there are still several concepts that I need to still to check with you later on. Okay, so we're still in this session here. You have DA class, and then you have another week, and then you have an October class. I will send this later, so don't worry. Okay, I will send this later in the Moodle. Please check. And then we move to derivative. Okay, derivative, some formula, some chain rule, product rules, implicit differentiations. When you see this star here, which means maybe a quiz, maybe, but we can change later. Maybe a quiz here, and then continue on derivatives, inverse trigonometry, log, related rates. If we have time, we can go here. But if you don't have time, maybe I will skip related rates completely. Skip. I think that's okay. And then linear approximations, max and mean value. This is application of derivative, sketching the graph, uh, optimization, like that, curve sketch, right? And then I think we will have around this Monday for midterm or Friday. We can change later. Okay. But for now, I'm using this Monday for the midterm. Actually, the midterm schedule from the university is start from 10 or 11. I forgot, but I think we can move here early because this is only chapter 1 to 4. Okay, and then after that we can move to integral sections, all the techniques, all the parts. Okay. Actually, I think it's not enough here, so I think we need more time, but I think that's still fine. And still in December, application of integrations in volume, trigonometric, some another technique. Partial fractions also another technique. Strategy is a summary of the integrals, and then improper integral, and then the arc length, and we still have one more class in January about surface area, and then this is final exam started is actually, and we can choose which day we will have for the exam for final exam. And actually, I hope we can finish on December if we can. But I think we have no time. So we have 16 weeks more or less to finish all the subject here. If you have any problems, you can talk to me. Okay. And then another thing that you can keep in mind is actually if you if we have the offline, we have the classroom, we go to the classroom. And I know some of the students, they have trouble with the schedule their life, right? Scheduling their life. I mean, you you want to, sometimes you want to play basketball, you want to play in a tournament, you want to maybe study more, so you take more courses. In my course, if you attend the class not in time, maybe late, that's still okay. So still okay with me. And the attendance is not mandatory. So you can, if you feel you want to skip the class, you can skip the class. Okay? I doubt many professors said this, but I said it's because I know the student's life. So if you want to skip, sometimes you skip, it's okay. But don't skip too much. Okay, don't skip too much. You need to be aware of the class, and then also review the video. Review the video. But sometimes, like I said previously in the slide, I will give you the maybe assignment, maybe a quiz, maybe sometimes like incidental quiz. You may, you will not really know when it will happen. So my suggestion is to come to class. Okay, but if you come late, I think that's still okay. And if you want to have some snacks like during the class like this, it's okay. You want to take some drinks, or even eating lunch. But I think we have class all in the morning. So maybe breakfast. Maybe you want to have some breakfast. Okay, that's still okay. And if we have the classroom, if we have the offline class, not online, and you want to bring the breakfast also, you can still have the breakfast, because we have the course from 8 a.m., right? I don't think you will have time to have breakfast. So you just bring breakfast and eat breakfast on my class. That's okay. That's fine. Okay. That's something that you need to know. Okay. Last 30 minutes, I want to show you how we are going to do a quiz. Okay, I have prepared small quiz, just for fun quiz. I will make this as a mini quiz. So we'll have like a quiz that heavy, serious, and the other one will be a fun, small, and then both can be, can have score both. Okay, I will think about the score later, but uh, I will have this kind of quiz. Okay. All right. We'll go to back to our slides. Back to our slide here, and okay. Again, scan QR code. Okay. Prepare smartphone. Scan the QR code. Okay. Have you done? Okay. Okay. 5. Okay. Okay. I'm waiting for you. Okay. Scan. 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 If you have trouble with the scan, you can go to documenting.com. You can go to the menti.com, and you can enter the number 512963340. You can check in the chat box if you have trouble for scanning the QR code. Okay. All right, I'm waiting. We still have we have 34 now. Okay, 10 more, around 10 students. Okay, okay, more and more. Okay, 37. Okay, okay, we can start. Okay, let me change the presentations. Yeah, wait. We will start immediately. Okay, yeah, 42. You can look at the screen. We still have the 42, three more students. Okay, 43. Is there any students? Okay, I will just start. Okay, we'll just start. Okay. Okay, let's start the fun. Okay. Okay. You can here you can make your own name or you can use the student ID. For the next quiz, please use your student ID, okay? For now you can use any name, any nickname, any funny name, yeah, that's still okay. Okay, write down your name, write down your name. I'll wait. Okay, 37. Around 7 or 8 students more. Okay, please use name. Any name would be fine. Uh, Student ID is okay too. But later, okay, later in the next quiz, please use your student ID. Okay, okay, 39. Okay, okay. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, I think I will start. I will start now. Okay. Okay, you need to answer really fast. Okay, that's the question. You can think and then choose the answer. You just have 15 seconds. Okay, choose. If you're confused, just choose randomly. Just choose randomly. Okay, time's up. Okay, 11 students got right. Okay, this is just for fun. Okay, 11 students got right. Okay, who they are? Who's the fastest? Oh, I think Jim. Okay, congratulations. Congratulations. Okay. All right. So this kind of quiz, I will have sometimes. Okay, not every class, but sometimes I will have to check your understanding, and then to make some fun games to so that the lecture will not be boring. Okay. All right. Congratulations, Jim. Okay. Second questions. Okay. Get ready. Get ready. Okay, I will enter. Start the countdown. Okay. Answer fast. Okay. Answer fast. How to represent a function? That's the questions. You have 15 seconds. Okay, 15 seconds, 15 seconds. Okay, I think most of you are correct. Okay, okay. All correct, all correct. Okay, all correct. The answer is all correct. And who is the fastest? All right. Oh, still Jim. You got more points. You got the most points from the game. Okay, congratulations, Jim. All right, all right. Okay. All right. Okay. Uh okay. Another questions. This is not a quiz like before. This is just your mind telling what is your feeling. Okay. This is feeling. Okay. So not related to the calculus subject. So any feelings you can write in Chinese if you want. Don't worry, I will translate later. Any feelings you have been from calculus, maybe you learned before in high school and you feel happy or you feel depressed, any feelings you can write. 3 words, write down. Okay. Okay. Foundation of science, difficult, strange. Okay, good. Anything, any words. Because I will not, I won't know who writes what. Okay, so you can write anything actually. But yeah. Interesting, confusing. Okay. Scary. Oh, excited. Okay. Uh, Curious. Okay. Difficult, confused, depressed. Okay. Really scary. Okay. Okay. Inspired. Okay. Hopefully inspired. Upsetting. Oh, okay. Hard to pass. Yeah, somewhat it's true, but I hope you all can learn more. Okay. Annoying, amazing, great, new. Yeah, okay. A bit hard. I love it. Okay, good. Difficult subject. Amazing. Nervous. Oh, I love it. Okay. Challenging. Oh, right. Scary. Okay. It is hard. Reality. Expert. Expert. A bit hard. Amazing. Um, Impressive. Excited. Challenging. Okay. Complicated. Okay. Somewhat is complicated. All right. Useful. Fun. Okay, have you done all? Okay. Annoying. Funny. A little boring. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Okay. Good. Good. Okay. The next one is this is just slide. Okay. Expectations. So after this, I need you to all again write down, but this is not words. This is um, anything that you want to write. Maybe some idea about the course, maybe expectation, what you want to achieve in this class, and you can write many times. You can submit multiple times. So first you submit, oh, I had calculus, and then you submit again, but I want to pass calculus. That's okay. Or you want to make, oh, I expect the class to be fun, not boring, blah blah blah. Or you expect to be mastering calculus. Okay, you can write that also. Okay, this expectation. Okay, get ready. I will move to the next slide. All right, you can write down. So, anything to say about calculus or about the class? Okay, this is just the first class. Okay. Okay, I want A plus. Good, good, good. Usually A plus. Only a few students, maybe 2 to 5, will get A plus. And actually, Uh, then fluffy. Okay. I want to learn it well. I want to learn as much as possible. That's probably difficult. Yeah, I will say it will be averagely difficult because of the algebra that I told you before. That's probably the reason. I wish I can master calculus. Okay. Yeah, deeper knowledge. Of course, all the deeper knowledge uh, related to mathematics or any formula in science, it will be related to calculus. Okay. I feel happy in this class. Okay, good to know. Still get gift. Okay, I'm thinking about the gift. Seriously, I'm thinking the gift. What I want to get. Okay. So later I will think about the gift, and when we have a small quiz like this, I will set a gift and then give to you. Okay. And of course, it will be not like this one. This is just for fun, and then you just choose the answer. The next quiz will be a little bit having a little bit calculations, and again, it will be countdown like maybe around 30 second or maybe 40, 50 second. Okay, the one who are going to correct and fast, he will get some gift from me. Okay, I will prepare the gift. Okay, or to get good grades, learning with fun, right? Still get gifts after quiz, pass every exam. Mm-hmm. Although I could get very familiar with calculus. Okay, pass every exam. I want a plus, hoping it won't hard to be understand. Okay. Um, a little reminder for you. Okay, I know some of you are not really familiar with English, right? Especially learning in English, right? But for calculus, because it's basically written in mathematics text, right? With written in numbers. Okay, as long as you understand how you deal with the question and how you deal with the solutions, I think you will be fine. You'll be fine. Okay. If you think like maybe some words that I say, maybe it's not too clear. Sometimes I will write like in the notes, and you can look the notes, and I will, after we finish some chapters, I will send also my notes as PDF to you, so you can review, and you can also watch the video. So you have two main object for study: my notes and the video. Okay, so you can rewatch anytime when you want. When you maybe after you play some games, you want to rewatch the video, or maybe after the class you want to rewatch video at night before you sleep. That's also fine. Any type of study, how long you study, it depends on you. All right. um, my suggestions is you need to work your life in balance. Okay, you need to have rest, you need to play, right, some games, some maybe basketball, right, and you need also to study. Okay, and I'm not saying you need to study every time. You need to study hard. I think that's a little bit confused for me especially. You don't need to be study hard, but you need to be study smart. That's different. Okay, hard and smart is different. You can be a quote lazy as long as you are smart. That's okay. Smart is means you. It's not about you know everything. Smart means you can handle your life very well. So you can manage your sleep very well. You can manage your time for playing games very well, and you can study, still study. That's smart. So even maybe in the class, okay, in the class maybe you feel sleepy. It's okay for you to sleep. Okay, maybe this is really confusing because not many professors said this. You can sleep in my class, but I said you can sleep in my class. Okay, for a few minutes it's okay because I know if you are going to classroom, especially in the offline class later, if we have the offline class, sometimes you feel your body needs to be rest, and that is normal. That is nature, and you need to rest. You need to rest. Actually, you need to rest. I'm not forcing you to. You need to look at my slides every time. No, okay? You need to rest. Maybe a few minutes, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. That's okay, and then you freshen your mind and then study again. That's, I think, one of the key how to what are mistakes. Okay, what are the mistakes students usually make when they are studying calculus? Yeah, one mistake that I taught before: you study really really hard until your body really uh, exhausted. You need to sleep, you need to rest, but you keep study. That's wrong. Okay? That's really wrong. You need to keep your life in balance. Okay, and how student can make their study more efficient, it depends on the students. There are several types of learning. Okay, you can learn from the sound, like you hearing me saying things, or you can learn from pictures, right? You can learn from visuals. Okay, how could you share some tips to study more efficiently? Okay, that's good. Okay, because nowadays I think you all have like the smartphone, right? The smartphone. Some of you are having a laptop, or tablet, an iPad, right? I think from those devices you can have more productivity. More productivity. There are a lot of applications that can help you, but I think good application they are required you to pay. But there are some free application that you can use. Like for example, I think you can, if you have an iPad, you can use the notes taking in iPad. That's free, including in the iPad. But if you want more, like for in my case, when I teach you, I'm using an app called Good Notes. Okay, that's for my notes. Or if you want to have another one like Notability, it's also fine. That's really good and robust. I mean, really good app. It's really stable. That's for notes. And then for how to keep your life, like manage your life, there are several apps, and you can actually use your calendars in your smartphone. You can use the Google calendars, Apple calendars. You can mark which time you need to study, and then you need to do it exactly as you write, and you keep consistent, repeat, and it became your habit. And when it became your habit, you will be familiar with yourself. You know what your goal is, right? So for example, you want to have like a good grades in some subject. So to get those goals, you need to have some steps, right? Some A very small step at the beginning sometimes start with plan, preparations. Okay, like I said before, if you feel the calculus is hard because sometimes you are not really know the basics. So that's why the very simple plan that you can do is review the basics. You can look for any tutorials in YouTube. There are lot of tutorials, and that is very good tutorials. Okay? I think there are a lot tutorials in Chinese also for the local students. You can look for the Chinese one. I think they have quite a lot in YouTube. And for the other one, if you want to uh, check the tutorial in English, you can always find on YouTube. And I think several teachers, professors also make some lectures in the YouTube also, and you can learn from them also. Not necessarily to be me. I'm this in this lecture I'm delivering on this course specifically. Like I have like my exam just to grade you for how how you are able to take my course, how many percentage of you understand my lectures, right? Okay, okay. I think that's some tips for you. Okay, for efficient. Maybe later I will make something for you. Some video for this kind of tips, and hopefully this week or maybe next week I will also share the link with you so you can keep update and maybe make your life better. Okay. Okay. Fully comprehend the concept and be able to think of solution. I can understand all. This is what you write. I would like the class to be innovative. I know it won't be easy. I have to master calculus. As you enjoy the lesson, learning happily and with fun, and don't be scared about calculus. Master calculus. Okay. All right. I think I got all the points you write here, and I think this is the end of the class today. I will upload the video and then all the presentation, also the schedule to the Moodle. So you need to check the Moodle later. I think some of you will have another course after this, right? The introduction course. So, okay. I think I will finish now. So I will stop the recording. If you want to ask, you can